Hello, everyone. It's Sachin.
And Deepa.
Hope you're doing amazing. Welcome to our presentation today, a root cause approach to low energy, hormonal imbalances, and sluggish metabolism. This is a very huge issue for people, and it's something that we've encountered for many, many years in our practice. And we're looking forward to sharing, what we've uncovered and covering it with you in a 4-step process to reclaiming your health without pills, potions, and planks. So thrilled to have you here. Thrilled to be able to share this information and package it up for you in such a way that it helps you feel your absolute best. So Deepa and I are going to walk you through this journey that we've been on, and we hope that you get some information that's going to be super beneficial for you. So let's get started. First of all, again, welcome and thanks for being here. There's so many places you could have been, but you chose to be here, and we want to honor you certainly for that. So please share in the chat, which is right below this, where you are from, what challenge you're trying to solve, and how long you've been struggling with this problem. This will help us know a little bit more about where to focus our time, energy, and effort with you today. And because we want to make sure we deliver the maximum amount of value that we possibly can. And by you interfacing with us and interacting with us, it gives us a chance to be able to have a dialogue today and to share information that's relevant to you. There's so many different pathways that we can go down, and it certainly helps if we have information and input from all of you. And you're going to get so much more out of this when you participate, because we can deliver so much more to you when you participate as part of this journey. So again, thank you, and we welcome you to this amazing presentation. Now, to get the most out of this talk and webinar today, make sure you have your root cause assessment form in front of you. This was sent to you, and it's also something that you can download from this page. If you haven't had a chance to do that yet, it's just to the side of this or just below this if you're on your phone, and it says download root cause assessment form. Please take a look at that. That's going to be extremely, extremely valuable for you, and it's going to really help you get a clear understanding of some of the content that we're going to cover today, and allow us to help you and allow you to help yourself even more. And certainly be sure to stick around until the very end. We've got a very special offer. After we cover the information today that you came for, we're going to cover some additional tools and resources that are available to you for you to feel your absolute best. So let's get right into this. And so, like I said, we're going to talk about a root cause approach to low energy, hormonal imbalances, and sluggish metabolism. We're going to cover a 4-step process that's been proven to help hundreds of people. We teach this now to practitioners all over the world because they are so amazed at the results we can get through this process, and they're seeing similar results in their communities, in their countries, all over the place. So we're excited to be able to share this. And the key thing here is that we're going to teach you how to be healthy, reclaim your energy, balance your hormones, and improve your metabolism without pills, potions, and planks, right? The painful stuff. Without the pain, we're going to teach you how to take the path of least resistance so you can have better health. So this webinar is for you if you're struggling with low energy. This webinar is for you if you feel physically and mentally sluggish for seemingly no reason. Of course, there's times when we feel like that, but maybe it's because we're not getting enough sleep or there's a stressful event going on for us. But if you feel like you shouldn't feel tired and you do, then make sure you pay close attention today, because we're going to help you find out why. It's also for you if you want to shed some excess pounds. 70% of the population is overweight, 30% plus is obese. And we know that these are huge risk factors for other conditions that maybe haven't been diagnosed yet. Maybe you're frustrated with hormonal imbalances, mood swings, things like that, or monthly fluctuations in how you feel. Maybe you've been told or feel like you have a slow metabolism. You want to put an end to yo-yo dieting, and you want to reduce inflammation and pain. These are very common things, and we have a pain and inflammation epidemic in our country and really all over the world. Opioids kill so many people unnecessarily because we haven't felt or dealt with our pain or root cause source of inflammation. Sometimes that could be chemical in nature. Sometimes it could be emotional in nature, spiritual in nature, environmental in nature. So there's a variety of things that can contribute to this, and it's important that we kind of acknowledge them in our process. And that's one of the reasons we get great results. And it's really for you if you're ready to make a shift in your health. I mean, really, we believe that it requires you being committed, as you'll see today, to this process and to yourself in order for you to get results. And, in the next 60 minutes, you're going to learn so many things, like how to accelerate healing times, how to balance your blood sugars, how to sleep deeper, how to eliminate inflammation, how to supercharge your brain, how to have great digestion and elimination, get rid of emotional blocks, which hold a lot of people back, and how to live, beyond getting healthy. We want to teach you how to live. Now, of course, we might not be able to teach you every single aspect of that in this presentation, but that's what our objective is with our clients. And that's why our practice is called the Living Proof Institute, because we try to be living role models for you. And we want you to be living role models for your children and your communities and the people that you care about the most. And that goes beyond having normal blood work. That goes beyond having, perfectly clean scans. It's how to live is different than how to be healthy. But in order to live, you've got to be healthy. So we're going to show you how to do that so you can move in that direction. Just a little bit about myself. I'm trained as a chiropractor, and why I'm so passionate about sharing this information with you is because many years ago, the exact form that I had you download is the form that changed my life. So as a sports chiropractor, I was working with elite athletes, and I was working with people at the top level of their game. And one year I was on the news for helping people with chronic sports injuries. And as a result of being on the news, our practice was flooded seemingly overnight with, literally dozens and dozens of people coming in with chronic challenges that I didn't have any answers for. And that's when I learned about functional medicine. And when I took my first course in functional medicine, it was with Ron Grisanti. It was Functional Medicine University. And in that training, one of the first exercises they have you do is fill out the form, the functional assessment form and the root cause assessment form. And that form tells us what systems in our body are not functioning optimally. Now, I had what I thought was great health until I filled out this form, because many of the symptoms that I was experiencing, I had normalized over the years. I just thought that, hey, this is how I'm going to feel. This is as good as it gets. And this is it for me. But turns out when I filled out this form and started studying the form and studying my lifestyle, studying my environment, I saw some amazing opportunities for me to feel better. And then as soon as I felt better, I started shouting about functional medicine from the rooftops, and it completely transformed and changed my life. So that's why I'm so passionate about sharing this form with you, because of the powerful transformation it helped me have in my life. It opened up so many possibilities for the people that were important to me, my patients, my clients, my friends, my family. And I want to extend that over to you. And in fact, this form changed my life so much, changed my practice so much, that it started influencing the way Deepa practiced. So I'm going to let you share a little bit more about yourself. And of course, you can talk about Devin too.
Yeah, so I'm a traditionally trained pharmacist. I started off my pharmacy career working at a teaching hospital downtown Toronto. I worked in the cancer unit, and I saw pretty much end stage cancer patients, stage 4, having lots of complications from cancer. Those were the types of people that were coming into the unit. And during this time is when Sachin was going through this journey. And, he shared a lot about what he was learning with me. And so I really started to take interest in that. And really my functional medicine and lifestyle medicine journey started after the birth of our son. I had a few complications with my delivery, and the principles that I learned really helped me to recuperate from these surgeries very rapidly and quickly, more so than the normal or usual person would. So that's why I'm so passionate about this. I feel like, I really want to help people teach skills over pills and really help them transform their lives. And then, the lifestyle medicine and functional medicine journey came more important to me once I had Devin, my son, because these principles are principles that we've taught him. We've taught him how to read food labels. We've taught him how to prioritize the importance of sleep, how to prioritize the importance of getting out in nature and, movement and exercise and all of those great things that we've transferred over to him, which is, I feel like, the most important thing.
I think the greatest gift that we've given to ourselves is this knowledge and information. And I'm so blessed to have a partner that's been on this journey with me, and we see eye to eye on so many things when it comes to our health. And we're here to nurture and support each other first and foremost, and of course our families. But then that spills into over how we work with our clients, because we think of our clients as our extended family, and what we want for our family is what we want for you. We want you to have the best tools possible for you to heal under any circumstances. So there's going to be times in your life where you might need a surgery, or you might need a medication, or you might need some sort of intervention. But guess what? When you're healthier, when you're more balanced, when your systems are working properly, you heal and recover far more predictably. So we can either prevent those things from happening, but if those things are something that might be inevitable for some people or some individuals, then we're going to prepare you and create resilience, which is one of the most important tools that we as human beings have right now. And I don't think anyone can argue how important our health is to us right now, and how important health is as a skill. Okay. And you can't buy health, it's a skill that you have to develop. But like any skill, somebody has to teach it to you. So it's our honor to be able to teach it to you. So just a few things about what we believe. We believe that health begins in your home, not in the hospital, not in the doctor's office, but truly in your home. Nothing can fix your body better than it can fix itself. The doctor of the future is the patient, which is you. And this is what I've taught at McMaster University, at the University of Ottawa, because that's what I truly believe, that the only solution to our healthcare system is more healthy people, not more sick people being treated by doctors, practitioners, even if it's a natural holistic approach. Why do we want people to get sick in the first place? We really don't. And the formula for healing somebody who's unwell is the same formula to help somebody live an extraordinary, amazing, life. So we want that for you. And we also believe that there's greater importance in skills than pills. Skills develop over time, pills run out over time. So if we can teach you skills that can help you mitigate or reduce or eliminate the number of pills you have to take, whether they're supplements or pharmaceutical prescriptions or even over-the-counter medications, then that's a huge win for you and your family. And we also believe that your story is super, super important in your journey. And when you become healthy, you come alive. Okay. So to truly live your life, health is very, very vital and important to you. Now, I'll have you talk about normal syndrome, because I know you hear that so often, and it's something that, we unfortunately hear more than we'd like to.
Yeah. So this is something that I very commonly hear with clients I work with when we first start our journey together. The new normal in healthcare is a lot of these clients have normal lab work. They have low energy. They have unexplained weight gain. They have sleep issues. They might have anxiety or depression. They have brain fog and poor memory. They have hormonal balances. But guess what? For a lot of these people, because their lab work comes back normal, they're dismissed as, everything's fine, everything's normal, just continue doing what you're doing. So we really wanted to, introduce this concept here, because we really want people to feel heard, because even if your blood work is normal, we still want to get to the root cause of why you're feeling this way. So, we don't want this to be the new normal. We want the new normal, or we want you to feel high amounts of energy. We want decreased inflammation, decreased pain, right? So we don't want this to be the new normal in healthcare.
And that's unfortunate, because the other thing you have to remember is that when you're getting blood work done, it's typically being cross-referenced amongst other people who are probably not feeling well and getting their blood work done. And I don't think anyone on this call is interested in feeling normal, because we've realized that what it means to be normal these days is not the highest expression of health. And we want people to experience the highest expression of health, because that's what our objective is. Now, the typical model of healthcare, the allopathic model of healthcare, for them, and this is not to put anyone up or down, but it's what they're looking for is different than what we're looking for. We're looking for what are the healing opportunities and possibilities that you have to go beyond feeling normal to feel amazing, versus what's the minimum level of function that you have. That's not what we want. And I hope that's not what you want for yourself. And if you're on this call, if you're on this webinar, it's probably not what you want for yourself. You want to feel amazing, not just normal. So that's our goal. And a lot of people come in and have unanswered questions, and we want to help answer a lot of those questions. And if you lack a clear diagnosis, then there's no treatment plan, because the entire basis of your traditional medical treatment is the diagnosis, which of course is wrong many a times. Majority of the time, the diagnosis is actually wrong, which means the treatment is wrong. And that could lead to a barrage of negative side effects or frustration, costs. And the most important cost isn't money, it's actually time, right? And you can see this young mother who's frustrated with her lack of energy and just feeling totally burnt out. This unfortunately has become the new normal. And that costs families their joy, and it costs moms and dads their ability to, be the amazing parents that we know they're capable of. So there's a 4-step process that we've put together that we're going to talk about today. And the first part of that process is commitment, making that commitment to yourself. The second part is identifying the causes. The third part is coachability. And the fourth part is gaining clarity on what your next steps are. Okay. And when we go through this presentation, we're going to be giving you case studies and examples of how this 4-step process has transformed other people's lives. And we're going to give you a chance to do the same for yourself, because that's why you're here. So let's talk about commitment. I'll have you cover a commitment, because I know that's a big part of your conversation with clients.
Yeah, so we really want, the first step, as we mentioned, is committing to your health. Health, we believe, is an act of self-love. We also believe that health is our own responsibility, right? That's why we believe the doctor of the future is the patient, because we really want to empower you to take responsibility over your own health and your own choices. Health is our foundation and our ceiling. So if we're not feeling well, then that trickles over into all areas of our life. If we're not feeling well, then we can't be the best parent. We can't be the best employee. We can't be the best, son or daughter. So we really want to make sure that health is, one of our top priorities, so that trickles over into all aspects of our life, of our life. Health is a the trunk of our tree. Sorry about that. Health is a trunk of our tree of life. And Sachin's going to talk to you a little bit more about that in the next slide as well. And then health is also, it's about the journey. It's not about perfection, right? So it's always progress over perfection, making sure you make those small changes. We don't want you to just focus on one area of health, like let's say diet, 100%. We want you to, have 10% changes in all different areas, whether that's diet, sleep, stress, and that's really going to, shift you in the right direction into achieving your health goals. Health is also about daily growth, which is kind of what I was talking about earlier. Health is more than wealth as well. And really, we believe health is everything.
So one of my greatest teachers is actually Mother Nature. Mother Nature provides us with such great insights. And, I spend a lot of time outdoors with Deepa and Devin, and sometimes even just alone, because I love the metaphors I can pick up. And a tree is a beautiful example. Nature has, literally millions or billions of years of time on us, time for trial and error, time for learning, time for figuring out what works and what doesn't. So if you ever look at a tree and how it grows, it's a great metaphor for our health. I view the different areas in our life, like parenting, our careers, running our businesses, our educations, our contribution to community, our hobbies, whatever they are. I believe that those are branches in our tree of life, but our health is the actual trunk. So nothing can ever grow bigger than the trunk. The trunk is the foundation for everything. And if you try to grow a branch any bigger than the trunk, then guess what? It falls apart. And the only way to grow every branch on this tree is to grow the trunk first. So we must grow first ourselves, and then and only then can we expect other areas of our life to grow. And as Deepa said, health is the foundation and the ceiling. So no matter what you want to do with your life, it's going to require having a strong, stable base to build an amazing life off of. And that's what health is. Okay. And then the question is, why are you committed to your health? Ask yourself that as you're sitting through this presentation, what brought you here? And the commitment isn't to lowering your blood pressure. The commitment isn't to lowering, 5 pounds or 30 pounds. That's not why you're committed. You're committed because there's a deeper reason. And you want to ask yourself what that reason is. Is it to, dance at your grandchildren's wedding, right? Or is it to play with your grandchildren and have the energy that you want to play with them? Or is it to be an amazing parent as you're raising your child? Is it so you don't come home tired and exhausted, at the end of the day? And when you have to give the best of you to your family, you're only giving 50% of what you're capable of. We want you to feel amazing when you get home, and energized and ambitious, and, create an amazing life for yourself. So why are you committed to your health? I'm committed to my health because it allows me to be a great role model for my son. I believe that health is our greatest asset. And I believe that it's more important than anything else for us to develop healthy habits, because these are skills that benefit us and they benefit every generation moving forward. Many people want to leave a legacy behind and they want to leave their kids better off than they were growing up. Well, guess what? The most effective way to do that is by teaching and modeling to your children how to be healthy. So that's my big why. What's your big why?
My big why is very similar. It's to be the best mom and parent that I can be for my son. It's also to serve my community and do these types of presentations and, really spread the message of health. So that's my big why.
Awesome. So I'll let you cover Holly's story because she's got a great story about commitment.
Yes, so meet Holly. She is a dedicated mom of two with a busy management position. And she really came to us struggling with difficult weight loss. She had a lot of brain fog. She didn't have enough time to prioritize her health with her family and all of the work obligations that she had. And she was really tired of feeling like the results that she was getting were not matching the efforts that she was putting in. And so we carefully listened to her story. She was very frustrated, but she was still searching for answers. She was the perfect fit for our metabolic and lifestyle reset program. We worked with her on her mindset and limiting beliefs, and we really helped her to commit to her health by engaging in a daily gratitude practice and focusing on all the positives in her life versus focusing on the negative things in her life. We also made sure that there were frequent check-ins and accountability. And through this transformation, she developed a deep appreciation for daily gratitude. Her energy and mental clarity improved significantly. She had a new blueprint for health for her entire family. So what she learned through this process, she learned how to sleep better. She learned the gratitude practice. She learned how to cook healthy meals, which didn't take a lot of time. This was able to trickle over into her entire family, including her children and her husband as well. And then, for her, one of the most important things was because, a lot of the brain fog lifted. She had better mental clarity. She got a promotion as a senior manager. And then as a bonus, she lost 19 pounds in 6 weeks. So this is a picture of her before and after she started working with us. And this is a little message that she sent to me in the new year. And basically, she basically just wanted to thank us for the life-changing program. Seeing her husband and her transform over the last few months has been the best way to finish our year and be even better to ourselves and our family for 2020. And it was all because of the commitment that she had made to putting her health first.
One thing I want to say about Holly, that's not her real name, by the way, but one thing I do want to say about Holly is that a lot of people are nervous about the commitment part because they've tried other things and they failed. So she was frustrated, but she was still inspired. And, she had tried a lot of different things, but where she needed the most help was actually creating the mindset shift.
Yes.
Right. And for some people, they're just working on their diet, working on one thing. And they're just like, getting trying to get that thing perfect. But the problem with that is that you could be missing some blind spots. And we know now with all the research that's going on is that gratitude rewires your brain. It changes the way you look at yourself. It changes the way you look at everything. And it changes the circumstances in your life as well. So as small as it might sound, and that was just like, 1/20th of some of the things that she did. But for her, that was the, small lever that swung a big door open for her. And it opened up, an opportunity for an advancement in her career. So she was forever grateful. Her husband, who's very shy, by the way, but he did the program as well. And he actually lost more weight than her. I think he lost 30 pounds. So combined in 6 weeks, they both lost 50 pounds. And so you can imagine how much more energy they have, how much more of an inspiration they are to their children, how much more confidence they both have now when they go out and hang out together. And, of course, you can imagine how many compliments somebody starts getting. So that starts, changing the way your brain is wired. And then you have even more stuff to be grateful for as your health starts transforming. So, kudos to her. And you can see that her commitment more than paid off. But before all of this, there's a process that we go through, right? Mm-hmm. So we just kind of showed you a little bit about her results, but I want to walk you through kind of what that process looks like. And it always starts by once we get that commitment, it's always then going to lead us to finding the root cause. And this is where we want to spend a little bit more time. So virtually every disease, every condition has an underlying mechanism to it. So, we see things like thyroid disease, depression, anxiety, cancer, autoimmunity, fatigue, diabetes, all of these things boil to the surface and show up in the surface, but they stem from root causes. They stem from poor diet or inflammation or a toxic environment or a sedentary lifestyle or even toxic relationships or even trauma. Even a poor self image is going to change your health outcomes, because people with a low self worth may not feel they're worth eating organic food. They may not feel that they're worth, loving back to life, because they could have had some emotional trauma that led to poor self image. Maybe they grew up in a household where the mom always put herself last. And so they've been putting themselves last, unknowingly conditioned from childhood to repeat these patterns and create even more multi generational trauma. And guess what? They pass that on to their children. So this could be the root cause of why people transfer genetic traits, because they transfer beliefs and values, and they also transfer behaviors. So we always look for the root cause, not just biologically, but also emotionally and spiritually. So we always look for causes, not cures. The same blood goes everywhere. Okay. So if your liver is being destroyed by something and it shows up on your lab work, or you have liver disease or kidney disease or heart disease, well, guess what? The same blood that's causing that problem is causing a whole host of other problems. It's not like if you're having issues with heart disease that every other system in your body is pristine and perfect. It doesn't work that way. Okay. So if the blood is a nutrient rich and healing and regenerative, it's going everywhere in every organ and having the same effect. If the blood is nutrient deprived and toxic, or not, enriched with the right amount of oxygen, for example, then guess what? It's starving every organ and system in the body. So that's important for us to know. We also want to have an upstream approach, which is far more cost and clinically effective. If we're looking to help people save money, we don't want being healthy to be expensive. We want it to be affordable. Well, it's expensive if you don't get to the root cause. It's expensive if you take a pill for every ill, whether it's a supplement or whether it's a pharmaceutical or over the counter. Okay. Sometimes things cost you your health. Okay. And they cost you time. So we want a solution that's upstream, that looks for the cause, that's clinically and financially effective. And it also helps us identify problems way earlier than traditional diagnostic criteria. So guess what? Every person that was diagnosed with diabetes this year was told that everything was fine last year, okay? Or when the last time they got tested, because they didn't meet the diagnostic criteria or the imaging criteria to even identify that there is a problem. So think about it this way. If you're ever buying a car, you would never buy a car or a house based on the pictures, right? You would want to walk through that house. You would want to drive that car. You would want to inspect that car. You would want to inspect that home before you move into it, because you want to identify problems way before they actually happen. Okay. You want to identify if the basement's going to flood based on the grading of the home before the basement floods. And you can do that by asking the right questions. And that's why when you're looking for the causes, you're asking a different set of questions versus when you're looking for diseases. And what I believe is the cause is the cure. If you can find out what the cause is, then that's where the cure will lie. And that's where we talk about your story, your symptoms, and your shape. So this is where the assessment questionnaire comes in to help us identify the root cause and connect what are seemingly unrelated symptoms together, because sometimes we might be experiencing a whole myriad of symptoms and we might not be able to pinpoint what organ system is broken in our body. For example, if you have adrenal dysfunction, the pain doesn't show up in your adrenal glands. It shows up in every other area of your life. But if you don't know what the signs and symptoms are, you might not even realize that you have this problem, because they're seemingly unrelated. So your story is critical. Your symptoms are critical, and the physical shape and presentation of your face, your hands, your tongue, your body, all of those things clue us into what other imbalances might be going on. Sometimes the shape of your body will tell us very subtle things, or looking at somebody's fingernails or looking at their facial features will tell us things long before symptoms will, and long before the blood testing and lab testing will. So we want to identify what path you're headed down, because we don't want to find out 10 years later that you were moving in the wrong direction. All right, so let's talk about story, symptoms, and shape. You need to connect with somebody to listen to your story and help you connect the dots. Okay. It's impossible for you to connect the dots yourself. And we've learned this over the years. You want to have somebody really listen to the language you're using, probe a little bit. Sometimes the things that you've buried are the most important things that somebody needs to hear to piece your story together. So we always start by speaking with our clients. We view the root cause assessment form, which evaluates your symptoms and helps you identify underlying mechanisms, okay? Not just the disease in its end stage, but what are the mechanisms that contribute to that disease and dysfunction? We pay attention to your physical presentation, and some things are very obvious, like the shape of your body, as you'll see. But when we get on a call with you, or if you send a picture of your face over, we can actually identify further characteristics that can help us align your story, align your symptoms, and align your physical presentation. Your body doesn't lie. And then labs don't always tell the whole story. A lab, whether it's a functional medicine lab or whether it's a blood work lab from your traditional doctor, it doesn't tell us the whole story because we can't test every single thing under the sun. The questionnaire that we gave you is 321 questions. We can't run 321 different labs on you, because that's not practical, that's not affordable, and that even then would be a little snapshot in time. I wouldn't be able to tell the nuances of somebody's marriage by simply looking at a picture of them, right? I really have to immerse myself and into their story to really understand what's going on in their relationship. So we believe that lab testing can be vital and important, but it's really important to understand these mechanisms because they can show up as being identifying factors in your case long before your lab work is. So these are the 4 different body shapes. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over the form and different characteristics of these different body shapes and the symptoms that go along with them, and then some corrective strategies to help you. So why don't we cover we'll survey everyone to find out which body type they are a little bit later once we've gone over them, because you might even be a combination of these different body types. So be prepared to answer what your body type is and pay attention to the symptoms of each one. So I'll let you cover the adrenal body type. How's that?
Sure. So the adrenal body type is usually characterized by an excess of cortisol, which is one of your stress hormones. And some typical signs and symptoms of someone who is experiencing the adrenal body type or excess cortisol is that they tend to be a night person. They find it difficult to wind down, and that's why they tend to be a night person. They have difficulty falling asleep. They're usually slow starters in the morning, so they feel very fatigued in the morning. They tend to be keyed up. They have a hard time calming down. Usually because of that, they're always anxious. They have a high blood pressure. Usually they get headaches after exercising because they're already feeling wired and jittery, especially after drinking coffee. They are calm on the outside, troubled on the inside. They have chronic low back pain. They become dizzy when standing up suddenly. They have arthritic tendencies. They crave salty foods. Sometimes they salt foods before even tasting them. They perspire easily. They experience chronic fatigue or get drowsy often, especially in the afternoon, which is why they experience afternoon yawning and headaches. And then sometimes they even experience difficulty breathing. So these are some of the symptoms of the adrenal body type. So, just if you have your form on with you, it's section 9. And so you can just quickly circle through these or identify with them if you have your form in front of you.
So the physical presentation of this person, this is the symptom presentation. The physical presentation of this person is an apple body type. They're going to be carrying their weight mostly in the midsection. It's kind of like that stubborn spare tire body fat. Mm-hmm. Their arms and legs may tend to be thin. One of the complaints they might even have physically is having difficulty climbing up steps. So the glute muscles can become weak in these individuals. Libido tends to be downhill. Energy can fluctuate, sugar cravings, fat cravings. They crave all kinds of different things because their body is just burning, energy so rapidly, and they will tend to pack it in the midsection as well. So that's the adrenal body type. So if you're an adrenal body type, here's some tips for you. Focus on sleep and recovery. So don't focus on more exercise and more intensity to try to get that spare tire off. More crunches aren't going to be the solution to a hormonal problem. Okay, more exercise and more type A personality aggression is not going to fix the problem. So you can't outwork this problem. You have to outsleep and out recover this problem. Understand and address underlying triggers of stress, simplify your life, learn to say no so you're not overextending yourself, and ensure adequate protein intake. So when people are low in protein, they generally will tend to make less healthy food choices throughout the day. And you need protein because you need the amino acids in protein to help you build healthy neurotransmitters, to help you heal and repair and regenerate. And the adrenals need protein, the amino acids from protein, to recover and recuperate. So make sure you're getting adequate protein in your diet. And then find some sort of activity to release your stress. Okay, so kids have outdoor activities, they play sports, they're they don't hold on to grudges like us adults tend to do, right? They let go of things a little bit better. So find ways to release your stress, not just extinguish your stress, but let it go. Okay, we don't want you to use yoga and meditation as fire extinguishers, putting out fires that you're mentally constantly starting. We want you to experience great health by not starting those fires and using those tools as a way of healing and repairing. And of course, a big thing would be to reduce weight and inflammation. And we'll show you how to do that a little bit later. The next body type is a thyroid body type, and that I want to go over. And this is a person who's going to have an apple body shape. I'm sorry, more like a round body shape, not so much midsection weight alone. They're going to carry weight everywhere. They're going to have generalized weight gain. Now, typically people with low thyroid function are going to feel mentally sluggish. They're going to have reduced initiative and low motivation. It takes a lot more to get them going than it used to. And it takes a lot more to get a commitment from them and keep them committed. And that's because their brain chemistry actually changes. The same nutrients that you need to make thyroid hormone is the same nutrients you need to make your motivational neurotransmitter called dopamine. So people with low thyroid function generally may not have the same level of motivation that they used to. So that's something to keep in mind if you're experiencing that. It could be part of the challenge that you're facing. They're easily fatigued. They can never seem to get enough sleep. They're sensitive to cold. They have constipation, which tends to be chronic versus occasional. They have excessive loss of hair. Their skin is dry. Their eyebrows are thinning. And then they have seasonal sadness. Difficult weight loss is a big one as well. No matter how much they work out, how much they exercise, they're going to have a tendency to keep the weight on. And they experience unexplained weight gain, which can be super frustrating. They haven't changed their diet, they haven't changed their exercise or behaviors, but the weight keeps packing on. And it can come on pretty quickly for some people, depending on the dysfunction. Now, a lot of times women or men will go to a doctor and have all the symptoms of thyroid disease, but will come back with normal lab testing. And because there's so many different steps in proper thyroid hormone metabolism, which we're not going to cover today, but there's several places, almost 10 places where thyroid dysfunction can take place, and your doctor is only testing you for one or two of those potential sources of dysfunction. So that's why the lab testing comes back normal despite having all the symptoms. And even when the lab testing does come back out of normal range, you could have severe imbalances going on, and the medications may not even balance you out because most thyroid disease is autoimmune in nature. And you'll learn a little bit later how this is kind of a cyclical pattern. So tips for thyroid body type would be remove grains and dairy. So if you want to aggressively address this, then those are two food groups to remove immediately. One of my mentors, Dr. Osborne, wrote a great book all about this called No Grain, No Pain. You want to optimize your gut health. 20% of your thyroid hormone conversion takes place in your gut. So there's a huge opportunity there for healing to take place. Another huge percent of the conversion takes place in your liver. Another thing we want to consider energetically is speaking up for yourself, because your thyroid is located next to your throat chakra and where your voice box is. So a lot of times we'll find that emotionally, some people don't express themselves, or they keep things bottled up inside of them, and that can lead to thyroid disease. No coincidence that they're both located next to each other. Find things like joyful movement in your life instead of intense exercise. So stretching, yoga, walks in nature, sitting in nature, grounding. These are things that can be far more powerful and beneficial for you versus intense exercise. And address chronic stress, because chronic stress shuts off thyroid hormone production and conversion, and again, leading to more dysfunction despite having normal thyroid labs. Okay. So thankfully, most people don't have something wrong with their thyroid. It's the other 8 steps that are broken that they need to fix. And many of those are easy to fix. And then eat nutrient rich foods. The thyroid needs rich nutrients in order for it to function properly. And really, all of your tissues need nutrients, but the thyroid particularly needs nutrients like iodine for it to function properly. And of course, reduce weight and inflammation. Most people's thyroid disease is caused by something called Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is an inflammatory process when the immune system is attacking the thyroid. So if we can reduce that inflammatory response by cleaning up the gut, removing dairy, speaking up for yourself, like you're going to see some rapid changes in people. And then we can layer on top of that our metabolic program, and we see amazing shifts in people in a very short period of time. I'll let you cover the ovarian body type.
Yes, so the ovarian body type is usually an excess in estrogen. And if you look at the shape here, it's more of that pear shape. They carry a lot of weight in the hips and the thighs. And, some symptoms of ovarian body type is they get depression during their period. So cyclical mood changes, mood swings associated with periods, also known as PMS. They crave chocolate around their period. They have some breast tenderness associated with their cycle. A huge one is excessive menstrual flow. Sometimes they skip periods. They have lots of variations in their menstrual cycle, endometriosis, uterine fibroids, some other ones here as breast fibroids, some vaginal symptoms here, dryness, itchiness. We discussed the weight gain around the hips, thighs, and buttocks, excess facial or body hair, hot flashes, night sweats, and thinning of the skin are also ovarian body type. And so some tips for the ovarian body type is they're going to want to eat lots of cruciferous vegetables. So these are going to be vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, kale, arugula, and these cruciferous vegetables help to metabolize estrogen out of the body, especially excess estrogen out of the body. You want to eliminate plastic use because plastics can mimic estrogen. And so we don't want to compound that estrogen in the body with plastic use. You want to avoid toxic personal care and cleaning products. So same thing, a lot of our traditional personal care products and cleaning products contain a lot of chemicals which mimic estrogen in the body as well. They're known as xenoestrogens. And so we really want to switch to more natural personal care and cleaning products. Vinegar and baking soda are so cheap and make great cleaning products. We want to maintain healthy bowel movements because we want to make sure that estrogen is being cleared out of the body. We want to avoid BPA and chemicals in our food. So eating more of a whole food diet, avoiding, any canned foods that are lined with BPA. And of course, we want to reduce weight and inflammation as well in the body.
Okay, the next one is the liver body type. And you can see that there's a lot of things that contribute to liver dysfunction. Now, liver and gallbladder are very closely connected. So our liver has about 800 functions. One of those, or one of the many functions that it has, is for detoxification. So it takes, toxic compounds and then turns them into water-soluble compounds, and eliminates them, helps eliminate them from the body. And it stores those compounds in the gallbladder. And so bile is secreted in the presence of fats to help us digest those fats, but bile also acts as a detergent. So it kills bacteria, parasites, and funguses and things like that. So that's why our gallbladder is so important for our overall health. The liver, they say that you don't need a gallbladder, but because the liver makes the bile, the gallbladder stores it. So the storage of bile is important because you can release as much as is needed based on the meal and based on the presentation. The other thing that bile does is it helps maintain regularity. So it will help with regulating your bowel, cleansing your bowel, and it acts as like a final rinse cycle before things go into the small intestine. So the symptoms of gallbladder dysfunction may be pain between the shoulder blades, stomach that's upset by greasy foods. If your stools are shiny and greasy, that could be an indication that you're not making enough bile. Some people will experience nausea or motion sickness if their gallbladder is not functioning properly. One of the other signs that people might have is their stools are kind of a light or clay color. because bile has a dark color to it, and it's what gives our stool that dark color. And then some people might experience headaches, especially over the eyes, or they might even have gallbladder attacks. Now, symptoms of liver dysfunction could be people who have a pot belly type of physical appearance. Okay, so it's usually a hard, rigid abdomen versus being a spongy abdomen like the other body types we talked about. They're easily hungover. They drink, more than they should, and they could be a recovering alcoholic or have a long history of drug abuse or alcohol abuse or even hepatitis. They could also even have a lot of exposure. So you don't have to be somebody who drinks a lot to have toxic exposure. In fact, some people have even more exposure to toxicity than people who drink because they're exposed to such negative conditions. So depending on what your exposures are to diesel fumes, perfumes, cleaning products, like those type of things matter, make a big difference. And some outward signs of liver dysfunction could also be hemorrhoids or varicose veins. Sometimes we'll see, signs and symptoms on the face. Okay. A lot of times people with thyroid dysfunction or liver dysfunction, I'm sorry, they'll feel like their feet are on fire or itchy or really hot at night. They might have some redness in their face. They're going to typically have lots of aches and pains. Those are some of the things that they're going to complain about. And they're going to feel kind of crabby in the morning when they wake up because they're just going to feel like icky all over. So that's typical thyroid body presentation. I'm sorry, liver. I keep saying thyroid, liver presentation. The thyroid and liver are very closely connected. So that's why I'm making that mistake. So tips for the liver body type are going to be reduce alcohol intake, avoid toxins from perfumes, skincare, and cleaning products. And we teach you how to do exactly this. Eat an organic whole food diet. Fasting and timed feeding is super huge, not just for this body type, for really anyone's overall health. So, knowing the cycles of proper fasting and timed feeding are huge. And this is something we teach our clients based on their needs. And you want to lower your carb intake and fat intake because those take a lot of energy for us to, metabolize and can cause huge swings and create stress on our liver if our liver is not functioning optimally. And of course, anything that we do to reduce weight and inflammation, the two are very closely connected, is going to have a profound effect on our health. So let's just take a minute here and pause and indicate what your dominant body type is first. And if you feel like you're A and B, which one are you more dominant with? Or you could be A and C, or, A and D, whichever one you are, just type that into the comments and we'll give you all a few seconds to type that in here. Okay, so I see lots of A's coming in. Very common. The adrenal body type, we see a lot of this, probably the most common body type. I see some C's coming in, literally tens of millions of North American women have thyroid disease and don't even know it. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to wait to get this diagnosis to do something about it because the path to health is unique, but it's not radically different for each of these people. Okay. Some people on here are a D. Okay. And we see that often. What body type would you say is most common that you see?
I see a lot of combination and I see a lot of A and C for sure. And B, I mean, all of them really, but really, there's a lot of combination body types. Some people experience adrenals and estrogen related issues too, or, the thyroid and adrenal. So there's a lot of combinations that occur as well. So that's very common as well.
Yeah, and hopefully, like, the goal is to be none of these, right? And to have all zeros in your symptom survey across the board, across the variety of different. I think there's like 16 sections on that form, so you want to have as many zeros on there as possible. Now, what's interesting about these body types is that if you look at the symptoms, like if you look at the symptoms of adrenal dysfunction, I mean, none of that points to like pain in the adrenals.
Yes.
Right? So it would be almost impossible for somebody to know that that dysfunction is taking place unless they use the form that we talked about, unless somebody hears their story to understand why this dysfunction might be occurring, and unless somebody identifies, their blind spots, right? So this is why knowing your body type is one thing, but then knowing how to recover from this, imbalance is going to be a whole other ballgame. So yeah, lots of variety here. So it's great to see that. And I'm happy to see that, that you've identified what body type you are. And now let's talk more about a solution. So the most effective way to balance your body type is to balance your nervous system. So, interestingly enough, we have a master gland in our brain called the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus controls our pituitary gland, and our pituitary gland has two halves to it. It has an anterior and posterior pituitary gland. And between the two halves, it controls basically all of our hormones. The pituitary gland signals our thyroid. The pituitary gland signals our adrenals. The pituitary gland signals our sex hormones and reproductive organs as well with the hormones that it produces, but it's getting its master signaling from the hypothalamus. Okay. Now, this is super important because this is often overlooked. Many people go on an adrenal protocol, right? They may have heard, oh, I have adrenal burnout, so I'm taking adrenal supplements. Well, what if your pituitary and your hypothalamus are not signaling properly because they're dysfunctional? So we always want to go upstream. Remember, the most downstream thing to do would be to treat the symptoms, right? So the list of symptoms we gave you, you could take a supplement or pill for each of those symptoms or take an herb for each of those symptoms, but that's really the downstream thing to do. That's the most expensive thing to do. The next thing to do would be to look at the gland that's producing the dysfunction. But then the thing to do above that would be what is signaling this gland to produce that function. And that's the pituitary and the hypothalamus. So we're going to go there with our clients because we can then reprogram and reset this system. And that's why we call this program the Metabolic Reset, because we kind of reset this entire axis. And you could you could write notebooks and volumes about this particular system, but I'm going to keep it pretty simple for today. Now, you also want to have a balanced nervous system. Most people live on the left here. They live in a fight or flight state all the time. And that fight or flight state accelerates their heart rate, increases glucose production, inhibits digestion. It causes dysfunction in the digestive organs because they don't get enough blood. It causes kidney dysfunction, adrenal dysfunction, reproductive health organ dysfunction, bladder dysfunction, immune system dysfunction happens when we're in this constant fight or flight state. So we've really got to find a way to turn this constant signaling and barrage of signals from our brain to our body off, because this compromises us. This decreases our resilience. We've got to get more into the rest, digest, repair, restore, revive, reproduce, and regenerate state of our body, which is the parasympathetic state. So one of the things that we teach our clients how to do is how to shift from being sympathetic dominant to being parasympathetic, because all the goals and objectives that you have to heal are on this side of the fence. If you're living in sympathetic dominance, you're never going to get better. And if nobody teaches you how to get out of that state, you're never going to get better. And you're going to go see doctor after doctor, take pill after pill, potion after potion, and trainer after trainer. But it's really this dysfunctional nervous system, this dysregulation that we need to rebalance. And the beautiful thing about this is that it's totally possible in a very short period of time. So one of the things that we do with our clients to get them to shift from this erratic fight or flight state and get them into this beautiful coherence pattern that you see on the right is we provide them with something called inner balance heart math coherence training. This training allows us to use our breath to shift our body into this parasympathetic state and unlock our own innate healing potential. Interesting fun fact is that when we're at rest, 50% of our blood flow goes to our liver and kidneys. So if I want to heal someone's liver and kidneys, they've got to be in this coherent, relaxed parasympathetic state. When they're in fight or flight, only 5% of their blood goes to their liver and kidneys. So giving them even the best detoxification supplements and all that stuff isn't going to help unless we figure out what's causing that imbalance and then teach them the mental and emotional tools that they need, and also the physical tools and the breathing tools that they need to rebalance their system. So key takeaways that we've covered so far is: one, you got to commit to your health. Two is have someone listen to your story, look for the root causes, know your body type, and identify the specific needs that you have, and balance your nervous system. So most people will go to the doctor and the doctor will say, well, it's stress. And you can see clearly why they would say that and why they would be right. But if you're not doing anything to shift your nervous system, then, or nobody's training you or teaching you how to do this and develop this lifelong skill, then you're going to be in trouble and you're going to be chasing symptoms for the rest of your life. So step number 3 in this 4-step process is coaching and accountability. So let's go through this really quickly, because I think it's self-explanatory, but there's a few things that we want to cover that are really important. So coaching and accountability helps you create new habits that last, okay? It helps you find your blind spots, and it creates positive reinforcement. So a really simple example I can give you is, imagine, teaching your child how to take a jump shot. And you teach them, they read about it all in a book, and you may even show them once or twice, and then they take a jump shot and you walk away and you don't come back until months later. The condition of that person's jump shot would not be as great as if you stood there, coached them, and they were coachable and teachable, and you held them accountable, to taking a certain number of shots every day. In 30 days, that person is going to be far better off through the coaching and accountability versus trying to figure it out on their own, because they can't even know the mistakes that they're making. So you need that. We all need training wheels, coaching wheels, and accountability wheels to create that positive reinforcement and identify our blind spots. And we do that through a very special app that we have. And there's a big difference between coachability and teachability. Teachability is somebody's ability to learn new stuff. Coachability is the ability for somebody to master that new stuff. And truly, if you want to be a master of your health, just like me and Deepa want to be masters of our health, you have to hire people to find your blind spots. So even we have people that help us find our blind spots in the areas of our life that are important to us. So meet Faiza. She's a client of ours, and she was under a ton of stress, business owner and mother of 2. And so she was about 25 pounds overweight and had severe bloating. And this image that you see here on the right is a picture that she would take of herself after a daily run that she would do. So she'd go on a run pretty much every day. I'd follow her on Facebook. We're friends on Facebook. And I could see that she was putting in the effort. She had the commitment, but what she didn't have is she didn't identify the cause, right? And so I saw her day after day and I was cheering her on. But then, 30 days in, I'm like, I don't know if this is the right thing for her. And so we kind of started a conversation, and she became interested in what we're talking about today. Her energy was low. She really had to push herself. So she was getting out there. I'm like, man, I wonder how she does it, because it takes a lot of motivation to put yourself out there, especially when you're not seeing the results that you want to see. And, as we started talking, we found out she had a history of fibroids. She wanted to make better health choices without feeling deprived. That was another thing. She's tried so many things and felt so deprived in the past. And so that was part of her trauma, right? Some of you have experienced trauma from past experiences that you've had because they're too restrictive, or they're not realistic, or they're not sustainable. So she wanted something sustainable without feeling deprived. And we certainly were able to provide her with a solution for that. In fact, at first, she was reluctant to even do anything. She said that, I'm going to try to figure this out on my own. And I told her, I said, well, you've been figuring it out on your own, and that's what's led me to reach out to you. Let me help you. So she was coachable, she was teachable, and she's a successful business owner because she's coachable and she's teachable. So that skill set spilled into her own personal life as well. So after listening to her story, we put her on the program, and we coached her on revamping her mindset towards gratitude and to connect with nature more to activate her right brain. So instead of running through nature every day, we said, let's sit in nature every day. We want your nervous system to be calm, that nature is calm. Nature isn't excited and agitated like most people are. So if we go into the woods, let's sit with the woods. Let's sit in nature instead of running through nature. And that was really powerful for her. When you sit in nature and you observe the microclimate of nature, the kind of the microculture and life that's going on in nature, you actually activate your right brain, which helps you unlock your creativity. I know all of us could use a lot more creativity these days. And it also helps us with feeling calm and relaxed, okay? The best place to feel calm and relaxed is in a calm and relaxed space, which is nature. And she cut out all the intense exercise, and we focused on recovery for her instead. So that was a little bit hard for her because, she was conditioned to think that to get results, I've got to push myself really hard. And we taught her a principle of nature, which is to take the path of least resistance. Okay. The river takes the path of least resistance to get back to the ocean. So the same thing happens with our health. If we take the path of increased resistance, we may not see the results that we're looking for. So our job is to kind of go with the flow and understand the principles of nature so that we can apply them into our life, because we are part of nature. We put her on a strategic fasting and organic meal plan, no labs, no pills. And this was her 6-week transformation. And she continues to transform, but this is 6 weeks. You can see the amazing results that she got. Looks like a totally different human being, actually, when you look at this. So you can see the impact it had on her skin, on her, confidence. You can even see how much more confident she appears. And here she is with her thumbs up, right? So she's really excited about the transformation that took place. And here she is. She started at 151, so not terribly overweight, right? So these are the last, 20 pounds that people have a hard time losing. And she was struggling with that. So she was able to knock off those 19 pounds, gone forever, feeling amazing. And she's at an all-time low. When I started this program, she was at an all-time low, personally, mentally, because she had given up, right? And the belly bloating was at an all-time high. So it was taking an effect on her. So she thanks us for saving me at that day and challenging me to push myself to do this. She's in deep gratitude, and she worked with Deepa along the way, and she was her rock. Deepa was her rock on that journey. Without Deepa, this wouldn't be possible. So she's got some great gratitude, and she's 52, and she thought she had to accept how she looked. And everyone told me that it's the age thing and metabolism slows down. Don't fight it. Well, I'm here to prove them all wrong. My confidence is off the charts. And again, just kind of going back to this picture, I think that her smile kind of captures it all. Even her body posture, you can tell she's got a lot more certainty and confidence with herself at 52. And she's just an awesome human being. So we're so happy for her. So key takeaways are to stay committed to your health, be coachable, take the path of least resistance, not most resistance, know your body type and needs, and trust the process. Okay. So you've got to trust us because we've done this for so many people. And a lot of times it's the opposite of what you might think. It's unconventional thinking in many cases, because people feel like they've got to take the path of most resistance to see results. And I can promise you the path of most resistance is the least sustainable path for people. And that brings us to step 4, which is clarity. So I'll let you cover clarity here, Deeps.
Sure. So coming back to clarity, it's, what's your why? Why do you want to be healthy? As we had mentioned before, is it to have more energy to play with your kids, to play with your grandchildren? Why do you want to be healthy? When we have clarity, it allows us to run in the direction of our dreams, right? So of course we want to fix these symptoms, but what is our ultimate dream, right? What by resolving those symptoms and feeling better, what is that going to allow us to do on a larger scale? It allows you to have more confidence in your decisions as well, because you have more mental clarity. The brain fog gets lifted. And then, when you have clarity, there's no more guessing with your health. And so just to recap, this is the 4-step process that we talked about. It's the commitment, the causes, having the coachability or being coachable, and having the clarity.
All right, great. So I'd love for everyone to share from today's presentation what their biggest takeaway was. What was your biggest takeaway? And then what was the area that you need the most help in, do you feel? Is it finding, making that commitment, which is for some people the hardest first step? Is it like maybe you're committed, but you just can't find out why this is happening? You can't find the root cause, whether it's mental, emotional, biological, spiritual, environmental, whatever it might be. Maybe that's your number one challenge. Maybe your challenge is really identifying who to have that conversation with, to find out, can this person actually help me, and can this person support me? So identify where your challenges are, and then type that into the comment section. So we'll wait for some of those to come in. What area do you need the most help with? And then secondly, I want you to type in, what was your biggest takeaway today? What was your biggest aha moment from today's presentation, or just from even looking at the form? What was your biggest takeaway? Is there something that you learned about yourself that you need to dive deeper and dig deeper to look into? Because for us, we want to be able to help you with that. We want to be able to help you feel amazing so that you can get the results like some of our clients are getting. Amazing results. It's so fascinating and inspiring to see the transformations that take place for people. So some people are saying they need to identify who to have that conversation with. We've got people saying that they need to fill out to identify the causes. They need to really, figure out what's causing this issue for them and where this issue is stemming from. That's huge. I think that's a big part of it. And then what else do we have coming in here?
Being in the parasympathetic state was the biggest takeaway. getting validation that I need to shift my nervous system. I want to learn how to correct timed eating, how to reduce fight or flight, so I can that they constantly live in. So, the nervous system thing really hit home for a lot of people.
Yeah, so I'll talk about that a little bit as more answers come in. So the interesting thing about our nervous system is that it's kind of wired between the age of 0 and 8. So our unconscious mind is very active between the age of 0 and 8. So uh, think about what was happening in your life around that time. What was the money mindset in your home? What was the food mindset in your home? What was the self-worth mindset in your home? Sometimes things that may have happened to us, were traumatic, or they caused us to have a negative experience, and we can carry those into adulthood, and these things can trigger us. Sometimes, I was actually talking about this on a presentation I did yesterday for entrepreneurs. Sometimes we'll go to comfort foods because when we were in pain or when we were sad, our parents would give us specific foods or treats. And so when we feel pain as adults, we go into that subconscious inner child state and we seek those foods that were comfort foods for us. Sometimes certain foods or smells remind us of a certain period of time in our life, when life was much more simple, maybe when, you didn't have some of the stressors or challenges that you did. So for a lot of people, it's an escape for their inner child. And it's up to us as our higher self and as the adult to learn how to make better decisions. But instead of fighting the nervous system, we've got to go into an unconscious, state, if you will, to unlock some of those challenges that people have. And these are things that we help clients with, and help them bring to the surface, because it really stems from a conversation. So it's unique to every single person because of their unique experiences, upbringings, value systems, and so on and so forth. So the best skill that we can all develop this day and age is to become trigger proof, to look at things with equanimity, to be able to look at any situation and view it from a neutral perspective. And instead of reacting to the situation, we pause and we respond to the situation. And if it triggers us, we ask ourselves, why is this triggering me? Because why doesn't somebody else get triggered by this? Because they may have a different experience or association with that particular event, word or smell or situation, whatever the case may be. So what else do we have coming in?
The root cause in my nervous system was mind-blowing. Also, the path of least resistance is confusing because it defies all that I've been taught about achievements.
Yeah. So that's a tough one for a lot of people to grasp. And there's so many examples of nature, right? So again, we're part of nature. We have to abide by the same principles of nature, and we must always take the path of least resistance if we want to have consistent, persistent results. And nature always does that. It goes around things. It always finds a way. But it takes the path of least resistance. Electricity works that way, right? Takes the path of least resistance. The river works that way. Nature works that way. The way water finds its way back to the river, it takes the path of least resistance. And if we can adopt that into our life, then so many things start becoming unlocked. And I had a hard time with this one as well. Mm-hmm. I think we all do, right? Because we're like, man, I have to work so hard to get a result in my business, in my personal life, in my health, and those type of things. But it's about being smart, and it's about applying these principles. So thanks everyone for the awesome input and feedback. It's great to see what everyone achieved from today's presentation. So that kind of brings us to an end of getting to the underlying causes. So we showed you, it takes a commitment, right? It takes, having an identification of the root causes to figure out what's going on. And of course, you want to get to a point where you're getting clarity on what you need to do to correct these problems. Because if you don't have that clarity, then it's going to be hard for you to identify how to correct the challenges that you have. So what I'd love to do is, for those of you that are interested in learning how to work with us, you can definitely stick around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover how to work with us. I'm going to also provide you with the exact tools that you need and information that you need to schedule a discovery call. So that's one of our gifts that we're going to be offering to you today. So let's talk a little bit more about the Metabolic and Lifestyle Reset program. And we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that so that you can understand what that program has to offer. It's the program that Deepa and I are most proud of because it takes all of our experience working together and away from each other as a pharmacist, chiropractor, and now both functional medicine practitioners. We have a unique perspective on the challenges that people face. And our goal has always been to create an affordable solution that allows us to bring health into your homes so that you can keep your family healthy, just like we want to keep our family healthy. So here's why we created this program. So after working with thousands of people, we noticed specific patterns. We are able to identify patterns that allowed us to really help more people. Okay. When you identify patterns, you can serve more people. We also want people to take fewer pills and learn more skills. We believe that that's the future of healthcare. It's not developing more pills and more protocols. It's developing skills that we weren't taught. It's not your fault. Nobody taught you these skills. And these skills, even if you were taught skills from your parents or grandparents, they may not be relevant today. So we've got to learn a new set of skills to stay healthy today. And really, we've got to guard our health. We've got to be guardians of our vitality. And we want to bring health into people's homes to benefit their entire family. So, we want you to feel healthy. We are children to feel healthy. We believe that that's the greatest advantage in today's society is a healthy family. Nothing is more important than your health. We believe that you are the doctor of the future. And that's why we created this program, because we want you to be able to doctor yourself. And being healthy, we believe, should be affordable and transferable. It should be a skill that you can transfer to other people in your family and something that gets passed down from generation to generation to generation. Just like our grandparents try to pass down things to us, we have an obligation to pass down what we learn in today's world and how we can apply for other people. And another reason is, here's a not so fun fact, obesity, inflammation, like diabetes, all of these things contribute to triggering autoimmune diseases. And with everything that's going on in the world right now, I think we've all been brought to a standstill to realize the importance of our immune system and why certain predisposing factors like obesity, like inflammation, like autonomic and autoimmune dysregulation creates a whole host of problems in individuals, and it decreases their resilience. So right now, what North America needs, and really the world needs, is more resilient human beings who know how to take better care of themselves so that when they are exposed through whatever threat that is, whether it's stress, whether it's a virus, whether it's a bacteria, whether it's mainstream media, whatever it is, you have resilience, because we don't want you going down this path of triggering autoimmune diseases in your body, because that is a slippery slope. And, yes, we help people with these problems, but it takes a lot more work to correct these things. And the thing that we scratch our head about all the time is, I wish this person contacted us sooner. I wish this person reached out to us earlier because we could have done something for them. And so this is an opportunity for all of you to kind of take pause and realize why it's important for you to get healthy. I'll let you talk about what the program is.
So it's an affordable online 10-week group-based personal transformation program, which also includes one-on-one touch points. It results in a mental, biological, and physical metamorphosis. So it's not all about the symptoms. Like we said, we want to really get to the why. Why are you doing this? And really transform you on all levels. It produces safe, rapid, and permanent results. And it addresses and corrects underlying causes of chronic disease. And, that's a lot about what we spoke about today, was the causes, right? We really want to address the underlying cause. Do you want to talk about this one?
Yeah. So the way the program is delivered is actually pretty cool, because you can do it from the comfort of your home. That's the beauty of it, because health starts in your home. So in this program, you get 3 30-minute phone calls or video consultations. And these would be with Deepa, and you can jump on a call with her and really dive deep into what's going on and get the coaching and the support that you need with one-on-one individualized calls. So we've included that as part of this program. That's what's unique about this program, is you get access to Deepa and FaceTime with her or phone call time with her in order to get the results. We also have live Q&A that Deepa does. So she'll do this every week, and it's recorded, so you can watch it whenever you need to, or you can tune in live. But this answers your most pressing questions as a group. and as a community. So you have access to Deepa that way as well. Now, we talked about the importance of your HPA axis. So there's a specific spray that we use that's approved by Health Canada. And this spray is used to balance that system. It's used to reset your HPA axis. So now the brain, the pituitary, the adrenals, the thyroid, the reproductive organs are getting the proper signaling that they need. And so you just spray this in your mouth a few times a day, and it takes care of the rest for you, along with some of the other changes you're making. You also get a 10-week online course. So this is a personal health mastery course, which you'll have access to and be able to go at your own pace. And it's profound, the information that's in here. We only share things that move big levers. I mean, we only share ideas and things for you to do that open and swing open big doors. Okay, so we're looking for levers to really make a big impact in your health, and we teach that over a 10-week period for you. And of course, Deepa has written the book called Healthy Habits. So you're going to get a copy of that, and you're going to get physical products as well. You're not just going to get digital copies. We're also going to give you a metabolic recipe guide and book and a journal and all of those things. And you've got the box here you can show us. As a special bonus, we're going to give you heart math as a gift. And we're also going to train you on how to use the heart math. So we're going to ship you a beautiful box that has all these things in it. And we're going to train you on how to reclaim your nervous system. Okay, so it's going to happen through using this neurofeedback tool that we use. And Deepa uses it every single morning. We ask that you use it twice a day for 3 to 5 minutes. So it's very short, but it allows you to tap in and really get centered and know what it feels like to shift your physiology in the right direction. Once you know what it feels like to feel balanced and centered, then you have a better gauge on how the rest of your day is going. This is a little tool that clips to your ear. You can take it anywhere you go with you. It's small, it's pretty discreet, almost looks like a headphone. So you could use this throughout the day should you choose to, and you can get centered with your body and your breath. There's over 25 years of research that shows the importance of heart rate variability and how it plays a role in your overall health. It's one of the most important markers, in my opinion, to test. We also give you reishi infused coffee or tea. Because we want to reduce inflammation, we want to give you a potent medicinal mushroom in the form of a tea or a coffee, because you're probably already drinking these things. And if you're not, then there's a capsule that we can give you. Reishi is one of the most researched medicinal mushrooms. And what it does is it helps balance the nervous system. So it's an adaptogenic mushroom, which means if you're in fight or flight, it's going to bring you into a parasympathetic state. But if you need to be in fight or flight, it's going to allow you to be more resilient in that fight or flight state. They call it the 10,000-year mushroom and the mushroom of spiritual potency. So it's quite profound, the impact that reishi has. It has such a positive, beautiful impact on our lives personally. And we want to bring this into your homes because we believe that medicinal mushrooms like reishi are part of the future of healthcare. And these are highly intelligent, adaptogenic foods that are available to us to consume as a food versus as a supplement or a drug. And then bonus number 3 is you're going to get lifetime access to everything. So we're not just going to work with you for 10 weeks. We're going to work with you for the rest of your life. We're going to give you access to the group and access to the course, and we're going to be updating it periodically as well. So anytime we add new content, you're going to get access to it too. Okay, so we're going to bring you into our tribe, and we're going to love on you and make sure you get the results you're looking for, and then provide you with a safe and comfortable community and environment in order for that to happen. And then number 4 is, in my opinion, priceless, is you get 10 weeks of access to Deepa through our special chat and private secure messenger service. So when you get set up with our program, we're going to give you a portal that you can log in and access to, and you can check in with Deepa through your daily journal check-in. She's going to hold you accountable. She's going to make sure that you're moving things in the right direction, answer any questions that you have in a private and secure chat. But then you also have the ability to ask questions in the group and also in the weekly Q&A, and then also in the one-on-one that she does for you. So you're going to get all of this amazing stuff for one payment of $14.99 or 3 payments of $5.49. Okay, so we've actually included a 3-pay option for you should you decide to do that. But before you do that, our special offer to you is to schedule a complimentary 20-minute discovery call with Deepa to review your root cause assessment form. You want to talk a little bit more about what you're going to do when you're on that call with them?
Yes. So when you schedule the discovery call, you will get emailed a digital version of the form. If you've already filled out the paper version, I've given you instructions when you schedule to email that to me as well. I will go through this form with you and see the areas that you need the most assistance in and really determine if this program is the right fit for you. So that's really what the discovery call is going to give you more clarity with, is to see what the right next step with you, and if it makes sense for us to work with each other, or if we need other recommendations that you might need. So that's what the discovery call is for, just getting you more clarity.
Yeah, and some of you, like what we realize is that people have a lot of questions that they need answered, right? And we respect that because you're filling out 321 question survey. When you submit that to us, a trained eye can go through that form and identify what questions you need to be asked, can identify what some of the root cause mechanisms might be, and then also identify if this is the right program for you or not. So we want to honor that, and we want to make sure that, for those of you that are committed to your health, we want to show you that we're equally committed to making sure that this is the right fit for you. If it's not, then we can certainly point you in the right direction, but at least you're going to have an amazing conversation with Deepa, and she's going to be able to identify how we can help you and hopefully give you some hope. I think that's what a lot of people are looking for these days. They're looking for hope, that there's a solution, an affordable solution for them to be able to have. And I think this is it. This is our most affordable solution because we give you lifetime access. That's the beauty of this, is the lifetime access to our system. So we only want you to schedule if you're committed, you're looking for the causes, you're coachable, and you're seeking clarity, okay? And the way you can schedule is by clicking on the button below this video where it says schedule a metabolic discovery call. Schedule this if you're looking to make a long-term commitment to your health. We don't want a short-term commitment. We're going to give you results in a short period of time, but we want a long-term commitment from you because we're investing our most important asset into you, which is our time as well. So we want to make sure you're committed. And, if you're tired of popping pills, taking supplements and shakes, and you're looking for a path of least resistance, really simple, elegant, beautiful, painless solution to feeling better, that's what this is about, okay? Also schedule if you're searching for a safe, rapid, permanent results, and excited to learn new lifestyle skills. You can't look at these skills as punishment. You've got to look at them as a skill, a sword that you're sharpening, and something that's transferable to other family members. And of course, you've got to be coachable and teachable. Okay, teachable is willingness to learn. Coachable is willingness to master. And to master something, you've got to be somebody who's coachable. Just ask Michael Jordan or anyone who's at the top of their game. And then, of course, you have to be capable of making an investment in yourself, right? We don't want to have this amazing conversation only to realize that you can't afford it right now. So if this is within your budget, looking to make commitments, you're looking for answers, ready to get to the root cause, you're coachable, you're teachable, you're looking to develop these skills, we'd love to speak with you. I mean, that's what we can do, is offer you a conversation and then figure out if this is the right next step. So what you can do is click on the button below. You've got to live in Canada and the US, okay, because we can only work with people within North America because of the way we can ship things. But schedule a call with us if you fit this criteria. So really simple. Here's the next steps that you're going to do. Spots are limited, of course. We only have so many hours in a week, but Deepa has opened up our schedule to make her available. Click on the button below to schedule your consultation. Pick a time that works best for you. Complete and submit the root cause assessment form, and then you will be called during the scheduled time. So we'll call you and we'll get on that call with you, and we'll give you 20 minutes of our time. We'll review your form in advance. You must have the form submitted to us in advance for us to get on that call with you, because that's what the call is all about. And we'll shoot you straight. We'll give you answers and provide you with a solution or point you in the right direction. So if you qualify, then welcome to an amazing life-changing journey, which we're excited to take as many people as possible on. That's become our mission, is to bring health into your homes and to bring it to your family. So click below to schedule your discovery call. And, I'd love to wrap things up. Deepa, is there anything that you want to share with all of our guests for today? Any closing remarks that you have?
Yeah, so I look forward to anyone who's going to be scheduling the discovery call. Really look forward to providing you with clarity and pointing you in the right direction. And, for a good fit, then I look forward to potentially working with some of you.
Okay. Well, this has been awesome. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to post them in the chat and we can get back to you. But really the best place to post your questions is during that call, isn't it? Right. So uh, click on the link, schedule your discovery call, and we're happy to help you on this journey and find the best version of yourself. Just like Trisha. Trisha says this isn't just about weight loss. It's like all other weight loss programs, it's about empowering you to learn foundational health so you can rely on yourself from here on out. It's also a chance to look at yourself as a whole person and get to the bottom of the excess weight, because it's never just about food. And she's actually a holistic health coach and nutritionist. So when she did this program, she herself realized, wow, there's more to being healthy than food. And she had an amazing spiritual and mental, emotional, and nutritional, biological transformation. So that was pretty cool to see that. And then here's another testimonial. This program works. It actually sustained and maintained weight loss, great instruction and supervision and interaction, the ability to ask questions. People want to feel seen and heard and participate and interact with other people who are on the same journey as them. And they never felt alone.
Yes.
That's another thing. People a lot of times feel like they're alone in their journey, and they can, their comment here is, this is a total body and lifestyle reset. And then finally, we'll end off with this. I feel this program has changed not just my body, which is getting better and better, but it has actually changed my mind. I actually feel like I can do it and I can do this for life. I love how it addresses so much more than just food and diet. It speaks to the whole person, mind, body, heart, spirit. I love how I feel on this program. And this is a wonderful testimony from one of our clients. And you can see the love that she got as well for sharing her amazing journey. And we've got lots of great resources that we're excited to share with everybody. What we're going to ask you to do is click below, schedule your discovery call, and have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. We look forward to speaking to many of you and helping you on this journey. Love to you all. Have an amazing day. Bye for now.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.